Hey guys, how's it going? My name's Blaze and welcome back to Stoneblock 3. In the last episode, we were doing a lot of work. We automated the processors for refined storage right here. This system, we can get whatever processors we want whenever we want, and they will automatically be made. And we even have a furnace set up to smelt them up, so we can make more refined storage stuff now automatically, which is really nice. This room is starting to take shape a little bit better. This system, we were trying to get automatically processing. The hard part is getting this to break with only when it is magma blocks. Turns out the solution is in fact this thing. This thing is much easier to use than I thought. I don't know why I was having trouble with it, but if you just put a compressed cobblestone in there, it has the mode blacklist. It will not break compressed cobblestone, so that's all we had to do. I set it up here so that we can move that system over here, and the only thing after that is we're going to need to get lava. We have 123, almost 124 buckets of lava in storage right now. So we're going to do a little bit of work with this. We have to use create to get this stuff, to get it from the cauldrons into here. But we can pipe this around with mechanism, and I like mechanism's pipes a little bit better. So that is probably what we're going to do. And yeah, we are starting to get some decent infrastructure going. Between episodes, since we now have our hammer is almost broken, because I spent some time digging out an area. So this area is going to be where we have all of our crops. We're actually going to put another row of drawers back here, and I'm going to rearrange everything. I have a lot of plans to do a lot of things that are going to be really annoying to do. Like, we're going to get rid of this interface. I want everything that's coming in from the resource factory, I guess we can call it, to automatically go into the drawers and only go into the drawers, which means we need to get upgrades and void upgrades. Void upgrades are kind of the important thing. So I went ahead and made 11 crafters. I thought that would be enough. We're going to continue putting these things up here, and we're just gonna do this. I like setting them up like this. This looks cool to me, so that is what we're gonna do. And we're gonna have plenty of crafters for whatever else we need, but I figure we can do this. There's a few other things that we're gonna want to do, but I also set up an elevator down to here. This is going to be our power room. We're gonna move our power like everything down here, and we'll have like one machine down here for now, but eventually we can always make more. We can get more power that way. You just expand, and we'll probably be using mostly just these thermo generators. Yes, thermo generator. Couldn't remember what it was called. So one of the things I want to do today is, this is kind of struggling. I didn't realize we were low on power. So we're gonna want to upgrade this thing, and yeah, we're gonna just kind of start working on making more stuff. Now, there is a handful of things that I need to do off camera, probably in this episode, and this episode has taken a little bit of time. I haven't had the time to record all that much here lately, so this is gonna be a couple days later. I've been slacking this week on videos, but we're going to start working towards getting blazes automatically. I want to get, I don't know, is it in here? I don't know where I've put it. It's probably in this chest over here. Yeah, we're going to want to get soul shards a little bit better. We have some blazing crystals. That's really good. We have energized steel. That is also really good. We're going to want a lot of that kind of stuff today, so that we can upgrade our thermo generator. So the first thing we're going to do, let's see, there's a lot of things I want to work on, and let's just real quick, I'm just curious because I don't think we've enchanted our vile sword. Let's see, we have 30 levels. What kind of enchant can we get on it? Unbreaking. Ugh. there is a very specific enchant that we can get. I think it's called Soul Stealer. That is what we want. So we're going to put that stuff away. What we're going to do off the bat, I think, is we're going to start... Let's start with upgrading power. Let's start with that. So to get an upgraded thermogenerator, we're going to need all of this stuff. So we're going to need a dielectric casing, and we should be able to get that. We're missing the dielectric rods, so let's teach the system how to make those. So the vertical dielectric rods we can make from the horizontal ones. So we'll just do that. We'll throw that over here. And one of the things I would love to be able to have is not lagging, but I would love to have, there is, I believe, we don't need the soul stuff right now. So refined storage has a, I believe it's going to be a crafting manager, this thing. We're going to want to make, and in fact, we can just go ahead and make that. We have extra crafters, and that will not take very long to do. Let's just break that for now. We'll put this right up here. And now we can access all of the crafters in the network without having to do anything, which is really nice. The other thing that we can also make is a crafting monitor. That is wrong place. Crafting monitor, we're going to need what? Glass patterns. Let's get 10 patterns crafted up. So that will go ahead and start working. While we're waiting on that, that is just so that we can see what's crafting as we are making it. And we can also do some other stuff. So let's get the dielectric casing. And then we're going to need the thermoplates. We're going to need 2 of these. So we're going to need more capacitors. And we are going to need just basic capacitors. So I would love for the system to know how to make capacitors. So let's just do that. And we can just put it right in here. And I can organize those so it's nice and neat if I want to. Otherwise, we can just dump them in. No problem. So let's get... We're going to need 2 of these large capacitors. I don't really care about... Actually, let's see. Is that going to be something... Having the large capacitor is going to be useful. So... Let's see. Large... Actually, let's just do it this way. Large capacitor is made like that. And let's also go ahead and teach the system how to make a thermoplate and a tiny capacitor. So now that it knows how to make all this stuff, we should be able to get a single thermoplate and a large capacitor. We're going to need 2 of those. Actually, let's get 2 more of those. And the reason is we're going to turn 2 of them into hardened capacitors. Oh, I guess we don't need that many. Okay, not a big deal. And then we should be able to do this. And all we need is our power. So we have all that. Let's get another dielectric casing. For the record, if you hold shift and control, you can make stuff that's already in there. If you're using applied logistics, you can just, I think it's middle mouse or shift clicking. I can't remember which, but we're going to want some blazing capacitors. So we're going to need some blazing crystals. We're going to want 3 more. 3 more is not too bad. And then we're going to want, let's get like 10 of those. And thermo plates, 2 more of those. because we can just immediately upgrade to the blazing tier. Now, the niotic tier is going to be expensive with energy. We're going to want to upgrade other things before that, so we will wait on that. And for the record, we will probably be auto-crafting a lot of the energizing rods, just so that we can get a handful of these. So I'll probably do a lot of auto-crafting, and a lot of that we can do off-camera. It's not a big deal. So, presumably, we need 3 more blaze rods. And we just need to go take these over here and get them energized, and they'll turn into blazing crystals. Now there's one other thing that we should probably do is the best heat source is a block of blazing crystals, so we're going to want 9 more of these. I think we have just enough blaze rods for all of this, and that is exactly what we want. So we're going to need to get all of these blazing crystals, and honestly that is going to be fine. It's going to take some time. It's going to take a lot of time. Let's... Let's go ahead and break this for a moment. And that's going to take... Okay, that's at 46%. If we put this back, is it still going to... Still going to go? 49. It's going to be really slow. I will get this working, and I'll get this going. The other thing that we're going to want to do, I need to see if there's another way to get water other than a water condensator. This is a good thing, but actually, we have solutions. We have solutions to problems. Let's go ahead and let's see if we can't make the crafting monitor, because it sounds like the glass is done. So let's see, crafting monitor. We need a little bit more glass. Just get a stack. Oh, we don't have that much sand. That is one problem. I don't actually have a good way of getting sand. Like, the best way I have of getting sand is coming over here every once in a while and taking whatever sand's in here, but there's like no sand in there right now. So I'll probably want to have a dedicated source of sand specifically, just because sand is quite useful. Don't know that I have any, but let's just, we only need 3 glass. I think we can make that. Yeah, we can make that. And then let's get a machine casing. We'll get that going. Yeah, so at this point, I need to do a little bit of off-camera work. We're going to have to get a bunch of blazing crystals. That is kind of the idea. Things I want to also do is I want to start getting factory machines so that we can smelt more things at once. It is much, much better. It is awesome. I love Mechanism's machine processing stuff because it is so good. But we can put a crafting monitor here, and we can see what's crafting whenever something is. So, I think what we're going to do now is this. I'm going to cut away. I am going to work on getting the blazing crystals. And I think I'm also going to go ahead and start... Yeah, we're going to want to just disconnect that for right now, so that this can dedicate all of its power processing to this. And that's not too bad. So I'm going to babysit this for a little bit, and then we'll come back. I'm going to probably do a little bit of stuff while this is processing, get the drawers organized and whatnot, and then we will come back and upgrade our power, get that in place. We'll deal with the water. I have a good idea for that, and we'll go from there. So I'll be back once I have a little bit more stuff done. Alright, so I have the blazing crystals that we need. We can go ahead and make the block of blazing crystal, which is nice. And unfortunately, we are having an issue with power right now. We are very quickly losing power, so we've got to act quickly. So what we're going to do is two things. First thing we're going to do is we're going to get an ender tank. This is going to be the trick for a couple of things. I didn't get to do much off camera. It didn't actually take too long to do anything with this. But that is not what I want to do. How do I want to handle this? Let's see. I guess let's go ahead. Let's grab a bucket, because there is some lava underneath this machine that we need to not have. And we'll go ahead. I have way too much stuff in my inventory. We can go ahead and put that there. We can put that away. We can put that away. So I moved this guy over here. We have power underneath with a flux point there because this wall is only one thick and there's no way I'm moving it. So we're going to have to deal with that. I'm hopefully it's not going to be too terrible looking. Thank you for the stick. Let's put this in there for now. We don't need the crafters right now. We don't need this tank. Can break the stick. If you break the stick like that, by the way, it makes it just a normal stick. It is super useful. Alright, so let's go ahead and upgrade. So we need the thermo generator hardened. And then if we make the blazing crystals into the capacitor, and then we can get the thermo generator blazing. So this is going to improve. We generate 200 FE per tick, and that is fantastic. So what we're going to do is we're just going to come down here. I'm going to just break that block, put a blazing crystal there. Okay, I was curious if I walked on it, if it did anything. We're going to put that down, and then we're going to stick this here. And we can drain it all into here. And you know what? For the time being, we're just going to do this. So this is going to generate a bunch of power. And then we're going to want to come back over here and grab the flux plug? Question mark? Plug. And this thing is going to be what we use for now to power everything. Because eventually what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, we have, what tier is this? This is an energy cell basic. So if we look at energy cells, we can get much higher tier. And it looks like we need to make more energy cells. So we'll eventually want to get some better power source for that. But main power... It is now pumping the energy everywhere. Should be in here. Perfect. Okay, so I did between clips go ahead and we have our crafting monitor and manager. I made all of this stuff, so I've made basically a bunch of stuff for drawers, including void upgrades, gold and diamond, copper upgrades. These are incremental. So in order to make the diamond upgrade, you need the gold upgrade. Make the gold upgrade, you need the copper upgrade. There is one upgrade above diamond, which is netherite, but we don't have a good source of netherite right now. So the plan is, I'm going to probably do this between episodes, but I'm going to rearrange all of the storage, make more of these compacting drawers, because that would be nice to have. And I think we're also going to have, probably right here, I might just bring this wall back one and have a door here so that we can easily go to the other side. But we'll do that. I'll do that between episodes. So for the rest of today's episode, what do we want to do? So we're going to eventually start working towards getting our controller put someplace better. It might actually just be over here. This corner is still going to be kind of my crafting area, but I want to get rid of all these chests. So you know what? This is what we're going to do. We're going to make more patterns. Oh, but we don't have much sand, do we? No. Okay, so if we want to get a lot of sand, can we make like 10 patterns. 10 patterns should be enough. Perfect. So what we're going to want to do is, let's look at refined storage. And we're going to want to make the storage parts. So these guys are going to be important. For the record, we can now see that we have crafting going on, and it tells you if you make more than one thing at one time. It tells you all of them. It's really cool. So let's get a couple things. So we're going to want a storage part. We need to teach the system how to make silicon. Does it already know how to do that? It does. Perfect. So just make sure there's no storage part. Okay. So let's get this one crafted. And do we have any patterns yet? No. What's it doing? So this is where it's really nice. Has no energy. Because I got rid of that. Okay. Oh, that's where the diamonds came from. I was like, I had a bunch of diamonds in my inventory and I didn't know where they came from. That explains it. We should have enough power for everything now. So let's... it should be... There we go. Okay, so that will start working again. No problem. We can put the diamond away. We're going to keep the lapidary dynamo in storage exterior for now, because what we'll do is we'll have... I'll set this up as well, probably again between episodes, and you know, or waiting for the patterns. We'll do some other things, but we'll have it so that we can kind of make sure everything works well. And if there is like an emergency, we can come down here and start a like the lapidary dynamo, so that we can get some power immediately. And basically, if we run out of power, we have a backup generator. That's what is important. So while we're waiting for the patterns so that we can make more storage parts, because we are going to make those all the way up to the max 64K, let's go ahead and make something else that's really important. We're going to make the controller extension. So this thing is, we're going to want 2 of these. Perfect. And I wonder if we can do this here. So, I don't know how these work all that well. Let's see, linking, yes, linking tool. If I place this here, can we link this up? We can. So theoretically, I can break this. We can put the controller extension right there, and link this, and okay, there's some gold coming in a second, so we should see 948. There's some gold in a second. 949. Yeah, so perfect. That's all we needed to do. So this will work just fine. And then we just need to take some cables. Again, a lot of this stuff was going to be kind of temporary fixes. But we just need to do this. And now we have access to all of our stuff again. So what we're going to want to do... I hope that didn't mess up the... it probably did. We have 4 patterns. Yeah. That probably messed up everything. Those don't even exist. Okay, so I probably will need to relog for that, but basically by doing this, it's just connected to the drawer. So we'll do something similar for all of the crops. That's the whole point of this controller extension. And then the interface we can use somewhere else if need be. I'm not entirely sure how I want to do that. We have an importer, So all of our machines over here, we could just pipe the items into a single chest and import it. Or we could use the interface type of thing. Either way works. And for the record, I've decided the way we're going to do lava with this thing is the same way we did the water. So we're just going to use an ender tank. And I want the ender tank that is currently running to run out because I want to change the color for it. So once this runs out of water, we'll switch it over to what I want, which is blue, blue, blue. That makes sense for water. So let's get some more patterns. And just get 10. Yeah, something is not happy. I think I'm gonna relog and see if that fixes things. But the big thing that we're gonna want to do, on top of making the higher tier, the 64K storage parts, we're also going to want to make a disk manipulator. So this thing, we're going to need storage housings, 2 of these. So quartz, let's make a stack of that. Yeah, it's not happy. I'm going to relog and see if I can't fix this, so I'll be right back. Alright, so a little bit of a problem. I figured out what it was. It is a common issue, it is a known issue, at least for this version of functional storage. These things. The controller extensions break refined storage to the extent where I had to break the controller itself. So everything is working just fine. These items we shall never use. That's just unfortunate. I'll have to figure out a better way to do things. I think what we'll do is just pipe things directly into the storage controller for the crops back here. That'll probably be the best way to handle things. But we have the patterns that we need, so let's go ahead and get the rest of this stuff figured out. So we're gonna get a 4K storage part, and then a 16K storage part, and presumably, and then the 64. All of these will be perfectly craftable. It's just a matter of if we have enough resources. And then the last thing that we'll want is the 64K storage housing storage disk. There we go. That's what it's called. Now, I don't know that there is there's not a creative mode version of these in this mod pack, so that is something to kind of remember, but it's not a problem. So presumably I should be able to make a 64K disk, and we can at least see we need sand. That's it. We just need a bunch of sand, and that will do it. So let's go ahead and make the disk manipulator. This thing, we're going to want some storage housings, 2 of those. We're going to need a destruction core and a construction core. I'm really glad that I made a bunch of, what are these even called? Processors, just off the automation, just to test things and make sure we had plenty of stuff. Because they're really, really useful. So disk manipulator, this thing is going to be super useful. Basically, insert into network. We can take this out, and if I do this, it will put anything that it can into the network. So anything that is, well, actually, let's see. If we put that back in there and pop down here, let's just break this for right now, and I can show you guys that without the external storage, without that, things like we have some zinc ingots, we have some silver and steel ingots. We have a bunch of stuff like that. So the whole point of this thing, which we might put some speed upgrades in, speaking of which, we need to put the upgrades into that. We can put speed upgrades into this, and we can basically make sure that whatever is in the system on our disks that's supposed to be in a drawer, because that was the solution that the drawer thing was supposed to fix. I guess I could put a chest here and then pump that into the storage controller. I think that might be what I do. I'm gonna move things around a little bit as well. So I'm gonna do a lot of reorganization. We're gonna make this place a lot better to kind of live in, and I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put a chest or some sort of storage, maybe a barrel. Do we have upgradable barrels? We do. So I could put like even just a iron barrel. That's not bad. We could take it to, you know what? We'll make a diamond barrel. We'll put a diamond barrel here, and then I'll just pump the items into here, and then we'll get things kind of organized so that we can just use mechanism pipes to take everything into the system. So we have the ability at this point to make a lot of things. So let's get working on a couple more things for the rest of this episode that I want to be able to automatically make. Now, we're going to be getting a way to get magma, what are they? Magma blocks. I always want to say like magma cubes, but magma blocks never sounds right to me for whatever reason. So we're going to want a way to make obsidian, and I think what we're going to end up doing, so let's put a diamond barrel on there. You know what, let's just go ahead and make that. I don't know if I have any barrels. I probably do. No, not in there. There's none that I see. No barrels. That's a little bit surprising, to be honest. I would have expected that we'd have a couple of barrels just from exploration, because I do tend to break those. They are storage containers, but maybe we haven't seen any barrels. Anyways, we can make a barrel. Barrels are relatively easy to make. We just need some more planks, which, hey, is auto-craftable. And then we take the barrel, we can turn it into an iron barrel, which we can then turn into a gold barrel, and then a diamond barrel. And that has a lot of storage. That's really cool. Cool. So I'm going to use that to make things down here. Now, I want to see, I don't actually know if refined storage has the thing I want. Constructor, destructors, wireless transmitters. I'm gonna have to look into what is a regulator upgrade. I actually don't know what that does. That might be what we need. I'm gonna have to look into that. So we're going to automatically craft obsidian later. And kind of the idea is I want to be able to have a bunch of obsidian, but I want to have like a limit. Say, rather than constantly trying to make hundreds of thousands of obsidian from every single magma block that we get, if we have a magma block, I want to keep some of them, because I mean they're useful for blast bricks if we want to make steel that way. I'm sure they have other uses. I'm sure, but you know, we could make magma cream. Magma cream has uses, I'm sure. Basically, I want to have some magma blocks, but we don't need to have a lot. And so what we'll do is we'll set up a system so that if we have, let's say, a stack of magma blocks in the system, it will automatically use any extras to make obsidian. And so we'll set that up next time. I think that'll be fine. So for the rest of today's episode, what I want to do, what I want to work towards, is I want to make steel. I want to get steel processing a little bit easier. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the machines from here. I'm going to leave this one here for now, but full disclosure, this is probably going to get moved very soon. So in order to make steel, we need to have a couple things. How do I want to do this? So we can put crafters above these, and that will put the items in automatically. And then we could extract the items, so like every other side. So we're going to want multiple metallurgic infusers. So, the other thing we could do is, if we break this wall, we can see there is the other side. We could do stuff there where, like, we have cables, but unfortunately, the covers for the refined storage cables don't seem to be craftable. If they are, I might do something with that, but I think what we're going to do is just metallurgic infusers and crafters. I gotta decide how things are gonna be, but for now, let's go ahead and we're gonna want an enrichment chamber as well. That can go down here, why not? And we can pop through this part of the wall, and we should be able to bring cabling down. And I might even move this cabling. Again, if I can make the various, like, the covers and whatnot, and I can hide these cables, so it looks like a stone wall, I might want to do that. But for now, what we're going to do is we're going to get some processing. I do need to, like, fix the cable management. Part of that is I've got to decide where I want to have the controller and all of that stuff. It might stay in here, and I think it will actually, but might also not. So we should have some crafters in here. Did I put them in a chest? I put them in a chest. So we have some crafters. Are there upgradable crafters, or is it just the various colors? It's just the various colors. All right, perfect. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to make a few more recipes. We want steel so that we can make this. And we also want basic control circuits, which means we're going to need redstone as well. So redstone, we're going to need another metallurgic infuser. These things are pretty cheap. I just want to craft one. And eventually we'll want to make, like, we'll want 4 in total. That is kind of the ideal number because that's how many different major infusions there are. So we're going to want another crafter. And yeah, that should be good. So what we're going to do is we're going to teach the system how to make steel. To make steel, I do want to see, do we have in the furnace? No. So we're going to want processing. We're going to need it to know how to make steel grit into steel. And then we're also going to want to know how to make steel grit, which the best way is to infuse enriched iron. And then we do that one more time from iron into enriched iron. And then we're also going to want to know how to make the control circuits, which is like so. And then the other thing that we're going to want to know how to make is the enriched redstone and enriched carbon. So this is basically everything we need. The only problem at this point is getting things to be put into here. And so I might just have to run cables terribly. But we're going to want something like that. And actually, we're gonna put this here for now, which means I need to break these, and we're gonna want just one cable for right now. And the neat thing about this is we don't need to have a bunch of cables. The problem is we need to get item extraction. So unless we can do something with a cable from behind, you know what? No, we're going to do this the better way. So we're going to put these guys like so. I just made up my mind. What we're going to do is we're going to break all these. And for the time being, right here is where we're going to put stuff. So we can just bring that down. We'll put a crafter here. So I believe if we shift place, no, it placed it that way. I believe it faces you, yes. And if we just do this, we can connect them with cables for now, but eventually it'll be just mostly crafters. And then we can take the mechanical pipes and put them here. And then I believe we can do output out the top. Auto eject on. Oh wait, that's a mechanical pipe, not a item transporter. That is for fluids. So we need to get those pipes, logistical transporters, and we can set this up. So what we can do then is, so this crafter is going to be for carbon only. This crafter is making the enriched versions, and then this one will be the redstone. And then if we put the steel over here, there's one other thing that we have to do, and it's gonna be, let's see, how do we want to do this? We can take a exporter. So an exporter would give us the ability to, let's see what we need. We need a construction core, and we need a improved processor. Let's make one of those real quick. And we'll just set this up for 1 so I can show off what it does, and then we'll do some more of this stuff later. So once we have the ability to make, for example, do we have any more logistical transporters? Do we have any in here? We have 3. That is enough for now. So basically what we can do, and I will finish setting this up off camera, is we can have this here. I do not want it to connect there. I need to switch modes. And configurate items. So we need to get this to take in, we need more sides. So these guys need to be able to have an exporter for whatever, not where I put it. Why is it putting it there? There we go. So an exporter, and then what we can do is have that exporting redstone, the enriched redstone. So we can do, make one of these. Now unfortunately it's not going to, it gave us the items through the wall. That's cool. Unfortunately it's not going to enable us to get the items back. We're gonna need to make another interface. So let's do that real quick. We're going to need more stuff. So let's get some processors making. But basically, I think I can just go put this into a... Oh, it's going to put things in the wrong place. So in the back, we'll have to get this to be... input. Hopefully it works. I will figure this out and kind of debug it. But at the end of the day, what we need to really do is just get everything automatically crafting. So we can make steel so that we can make more logistical transporters or more energy or liquid, whichever pipes we need. So we should be able to, do this where we take the enriched redstone, and if I put, so this is the right side, the extra, and then out the back it would be the input. So theoretically, if I put this here and then throw this into the importer, we should get redstone in there, and then I can do other things. So these machines are going to need an exporter. We could also have an auto crafted, so there is a crafting upgrade that we can make. So it is these. These are good for making more stuff, but what we're going to want to do, I think for the time being, is let's wrench this, and out the top we want output, and I just want to see if this will even come close to working. Let's tell the system to make 2 of the circuits. So craft 2 of these. So it should send 2 osmium into that one, and it sounds like it is working. And we need to just have it automatically making the redstone, and it will eventually fill up, so that is good. But I need to just organize everything over here and make sure everything's working fine, and figure out how I want items to get kind of placed. Now, why do we want to make the control circuits? Well, logistical transporters would be nice, but the other thing that we can do is we can use these to make a basic tier installer. And while I could autocraft these, I don't think I want to. We have plenty of autocrafting. So let's go ahead and get basic tier installers autocrafted, and we're going to tell it to make one, and then later we can tell it to make a bunch and it will do it. So are these are not incremental, so you don't need the basic tier to make the higher tier. You can just make the higher tier, so that might be a reason not to autocraft them. But what these do is if I use it on the enrichment chamber, it becomes the basic enriching factory, which has 3 slots instead of just 1. And so it will use a little bit more power, but it will be a lot faster. And if we do that for all of our machines, all the mechanism machines can do that, we can make autocrafting a lot easier. So that is going to be a stopping point for today. We still have a lot of stuff to do. I have a lot of work to do off camera, and I'm going to try to do it all. I know that I don't always get everything done, but I'm going to try to get a lot of it done this time. So I need to figure out how we're going to get the everything set up with the auto crafting machines, and we're going to get basically all of that stuff taken care of. There is a couple concerns. If we look at our smelter is kind of full of recipes. We can't do too many more recipes. In fact, we can't do any more recipes. So we need to put more crafters on that. So some of the stuff we might set up with like chests. I might do other things. I don't know. We'll figure something out. I've got to decide how to do that. The typical response is just put more crafters on the machine, but space is a concern, and I want things to look somewhat nice, even if we're not going to be decorating. So I'm going to work on storage and getting some auto crafting. I'm going to see whether or not the one upgrade does what I think it does. And if not, I will figure out whatever. Yeah, it's the regulator upgrade. I'm going to look into that because I don't know what that does. But yeah, I'm going to work on trying to figure out some ways to automate stuff, and we'll get things set up so that we can do just that. I'm also going to rearrange things so that we have everything make sense and is a little bit nicer and neater around here, and we'll kind of go from there. So that is the plan. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. It's a longer one. We also got a lot of different things done, but yeah, we've got a lot of work to do. I don't know what the goals are going to be in the next episode. Maybe we'll start working towards getting some more power stuff going. We should also start working on getting more stuff in general. So I don't know exactly what we're going to do, but we will proceed on and hopefully be able to get some progress in this mod pack. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!